Zimran, when did you decide you were going to go to film school?
I think I decided I was going to go to film school around the time I was 17. I had a lot of really good college counselors and, a lot of good support at my high school, and I really loved films and television. But it was mostly films back then. And yeah, I guess the first film school that I went to was USC, and I did the screenwriting summer seminars there. And it was really good. It made, kind of fed my passion. And one of my professors at USC wrote me a letter of recommendation, and I was able to transfer my credits to Chapman University in Orange County, which was an amazing film education as well. I did a semester at NYU during the summer in 2009, and then graduated from Chapman, and then did my postgrad at UCLA.
And so your initial goal was to become a screenwriter?
Yeah, the whole time I really wanted to be a writer, and I wanted to get the best education that I could. I'm Indian American, and I think there's a culture of believing in education.
You had a teacher at NYU who kind of gave you a reality check. Can you share what happened?
Yeah, when I was at NYU, I had this teacher that was so passionate and would go through every single line of my scripts and would, be really critical in a way that nobody had been before. And it really inspired me because I took that criticism as a challenge to make my script better. And I remember that summer I was really inspired, and I just went back home and I wrote my first feature. I wrote my first feature script after that class, and I really appreciated that class and that teacher.
That's interesting. So instead of seeing it as a negative, you actually rose to the challenge, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really difficult to get 100% agreement on whether or not a script is good, and that's at every stage of the script, even when it's a produced Academy Award-winning film. So I think if you're getting criticism, you can always take it. You shouldn't never take criticism personally. You should always try to take criticism and try to use it to better your script.
And you felt that the teacher meant it in a good way. Maybe they saw in you a huge potential and they wanted to make you better.
Absolutely. I think that the teachers that I've had have definitely had great intentions. And also, you don't have to take every note. If you're not passionate about something, you don't necessarily have to take it. But usually there's a note behind the note that you can kind of address and maybe make your script better. If a lot of people are saying the same thing about your script, then that means it's bumping a lot of people. And so you can maybe address that. I've definitely been in circumstances where I don't feel like the person giving me the notes has my best interest at heart. But maybe they still feel like they do. So there's going to be some subjectivity around that.
Right. Well, we can learn a lot from detractors about ourselves that, sometimes people that care for us don't want to tell us the truth. So sometimes those people actually are helpful even when it stings. But
it's hard to be honest with people about their scripts. And it's hard to kind of say to somebody, hey, like, this is your dream and this is your, your dream project. And I can't really do any business with it. So if somebody tells me that, then I take it very seriously, and I want to know, okay, are there ways to kind of address that? And there's also a lot of randomness. I remember I got very harsh criticism on a script from one of my friends who's a writer, and I was kind of devastated. I was really sad. And then a few weeks later, I got into a fellowship, and that was it was with the same script, completely unchanged, and I had submitted it about a month ago. So. And that was, got me into a writer's room as well. So you just never know who is going to read your script, who's going to like it, who's going to be kind of favorable to what you're trying to do.
And you've gone to 4 film schools, is that correct? Yeah, tell us, why jump around? Curious.
So I started off at USC, and it was a good place to start, but I wanted to kind of find like a permanent home for myself. And so Chapman was that. Chapman, it was different from high school. I finally felt like I fit in with my classmates. And, I was also on they call it the fitness dorm. So we were all staying like very healthy, very fit. A lot of my good friends at Chapman were actually not film students, but business students. And so I started to kind of see how they thought and see how it was different from the way that I thought. But we would all love to go watch movies together. Everybody had their films that they really liked. But it was really, a bond of just friendship and love and connection. And that was kind of where I felt more at home. But I wanted to make sure that I got a taste of every single brand of what they had told me were the best film schools. NYU was, again, a summer semester at NYU, and I was definitely impressed. UCLA was postgraduate, so I did the TFT program and I did the extension program. And also, I think just amazing, amazing courses. Yeah, I think, as there's always room for improvement. There's always room to be educated more. And there's no harm in, saying that you need help. And there's no, I think I approach it with as little ego as possible. So yeah, I think that's kind of the reason that I jumped around a lot.
You've said previously that you value education, however, you don't necessarily think people need film school to become a screenwriter, filmmaker?
It's there's a dichotomy. I think if you look at the major auteurs of our time, how many, I'd probably say something like 50-50, or you could get a sample of people that went to film school and people that didn't, people that gained so much from film school, like Martin Scorsese, who went to NYU, clearly, one of the best directors of our time. But also you might have somebody like Quentin Tarantino, who learned from just watching a lot of movies and starting to emulate a lot of those movies.
What other lessons from attending 4 film schools can you pass on to others who are wavering in their decision as to whether or not to apply?
I think it's a major time commitment and a major financial commitment to go to film school. So if you have the means to do it, then you should consider it, but also consider getting a job in the industry, getting paid for your work. Try to think about other ways you can use your time, other skills you can potentially learn, and other degrees you can get that would get you a steady job so you can do your steady job and also be a filmmaker on the side.
Yeah, I think one thing though that from someone who did not go to traditional 4-year school is you form bonds with people that are lifelong sometimes, and that can be really lacking when you've gone to a community college or just an extension where great stuff that you're learning, but you never really form those friendships.
Yeah, I think I gained lifelong friendships from Chapman, and I definitely ran into a lot of people from USC after the fact, and maybe some people from UCLA, but I think film school definitely gives you a community, and it gives you people that care about you, that will support you, and it's not commercial at that level. So everybody's doing it for the love of the art. And I think that's something that's special, that bonds people. Also the fact that everybody's living together in the same campus usually. And it is really hard to replicate that. So, financially, if you can go to community college for a couple of years and then go to film school for 2 years or something along those lines, that might be a way to split the difference and get both of the kind of experiences as well. But really, I think if somebody's considering film school, they should think about the major financial commitment that it may be to go to these really prestigious film schools.